The Ordinary Bruja, a teensy tiny story. Part 7. This is a work of fiction. Names, characters, businesses, places, events, and incidents are either the products of the author's imagination or used in a fictitious manner. Any resemblance to actual persons, living or dead, or actual events is purely coincidental. Frustration mounted inside Marisol. She looked down at the wilted wildflower, her chest so heavy. I killed this wildflower, she thought, swallowing hard against the disappointment that slowly crept in. You need to think of magic as a journey, not as a destination, the ghostly man said. What does that even mean? Marisol murmured, her voice thick with irritation. She turned to leave, feeling as if every ounce of courage she gathered to climb this hill had shattered against her clumsy attempt to save a dying thing. It was dead anyway, she murmured, almost convincing herself, as she took the path back down the hill. But her cheeks were flushed, and she kept her eyes low, knowing that his gaze was following her. But she didn't dare look back. She didn't want to see disappointment clouding his eyes. And yet she didn't understand why it bothered her so much. He was just a ghost, another wandering spirit tethered to this hill like so many others. Why should I care what he thinks? She asked herself. But a small, persistent voice within her said otherwise. She remembered that same feeling of wanting to make her mother proud. And this ghost, this strange, insistent guide, he felt like kin. And as she neared her cottage, she sighed, her thoughts swirling in a messy tangle. She reached for the door but stopped short, noticing a pair of golden eyes watching her from the shadows. She squinted, expecting to see the familiar wavering outline of the ghost, the figure who had somehow become both a nuisance and a friend. And how had he become a friend? Marisol's mind diverted itself to wonder. Because he thought I was brave? Because he believed I was strong? Or was it because he seemed to see something in me that I could hardly see on myself? What are you doing here? Marisol whispered, extending her hand cautiously. The doe licked her palm, its golden eyes meeting Marisol's with an intensity that felt almost human. You will be all right, it said, its voice soft yet stern. And you will try again, correct? Marisol's mouth dropped open. Her heart began to race. She leaned in closer, staring into the doe's wise eyes. Say that again? But the doe was silent this time. Not a sound crossed its lips, and Marisol wondered if she had imagined it all. She chuckled, her nerves fraying, as the oddness of it all settled in. The ghost, the talking doe. What's next? Mummies? Zombies? She laughed softly, pressing her palms against her forehead. She had barely recovered from one mystery before the next appeared. 2 days of hibernation to gain the courage to climb the hill today had done little to ease her mind. Maybe I really do need a longer break, she thought. Over the next few days, despite the lingering frustration and doubt, the lonely Bruja returned to the hill each day. Each morning she found the figure waiting, his expression steady and patient, with yet another task for her to attempt. What followed were days marked by small steps and quiet revelations. Here's a recounting of them. Day 2. The Language of Birds. To be continued. Stay tuned for part 7.